चाहिए
हीटर थोड़ा कम कर सकते हैं, हीटिंग थोड़ा कम हो सकता है। हाँ, जल्दी कर दो, नहीं तो बंद ही कर दो।
Start.
Good morning to everyone. So I am academic counselor at BISWAS. Today, event is J02 is Human Resources Development. So today we have to see the block number 3 is HRD in practice. So first see what are the units are in block number 3. There are 3 units. Unit number 8 is HRD Culture and Climate. Unit number 9 is your counseling, coaching and mentoring. And unit number 10 is HRD in industrial relations. The last sessions in the block 2, some unit number 7 is left out, some of the features, some of the important areas that I will discuss first, unit number 7. Then I go for, that is, then after that, 8, 9, 10, from block 3 I will start. So in the managing grid, that is in the block number 2, where the unit 7 was the analysis for the performance of career planning. In the last session, we have discussed about a lot of tools and tackles, how to analyze the performance, how to measure the performance. Here, some of the 2-3 slides are there more for additional inputs for the performance management. The how to maximize the employee's capacity. Main idea is, so in the career planning, we have to have a such a plan where we can maximize the employee's capacity, and when they will be put in particular that position, they can afford their they can perform or better. So that's why it is required that enhance their competencies and the expectation and the expected behaviors. So another part is, it is a continuous process, so ongoing process. So proactive techniques has to be taken care. We have to take, and that should be for the target in real time. The main things nowadays in the worldwide, the competition is like this. So okay, you have a know-how, doesn't matter, but you have a competency, you have a skilled peoples, but in the real time, target is very important. Because when it is to be launched and some target time frame should be there within a time frame that should be launched in the market. Because if you delay, then maybe the other company will come in the market. So that part is very important nowadays. Because basically idea thing is it should be a competitive market, and in is required some future reviews, and the corrective actions are also important. You have to correct all the time. You have to corrections mode should be sometimes in your lean period. You have to correct everything. So performance management enhances a company's profitability, and by increasing the employees' engagement and increasing the productivity. So these are all some of the points are important for the related to um, perform the management in order to enhance the competence. System theory and the human performance is also important because you have to emphasize on the holistic thinking, where altogether everything can be developed. And they are often systems, that is the environment is another important, because directly with the environment and achieving defined targets of real time without the need for the futures, reviews, and corrective actions, as I said. Now, another thing is your scientific management is also important. The management, business administration, where you have to manage in such a way scientifically it should be, and it is give a so-called human relations movement, often known as the behavioral management theory. Depending on the component, there are some laws are there. The Elton May's some law is there. There is a theory X and theory Y. The two type of people are involved, some positivity and the negativity. So that is the things are important uh, to identify the peoples, and accordingly you have to act it. And when pre-dedicated on the assumptions of the man's nature and the uh, determinants, deterministic. So it is very prime requirement to identify the behavioral pattern of the humans so that you can categorize which are the X positivity type, another is the negative types. So that's the important part. Job performance behavior is also important, and then your whatever the improvement, any improvement becomes improvement. The should be alignment between the organizational goals and the individual objectives. But every individual's some objective should be there. He has to promote for these particular dispositions. He should handle this type of work. He should be capable of these things, ability, enhance everything. The individual, but at the same time, you have to see the organizational goals also there. Target should be fulfilled. Quality should be maintained. So some of the organizational goal and individual goal that should be matched. I mean aligned. So another aspect is personality and behavioral performance. That is also important. There are 5 things are things are there. You have to consciousness, then your neuroticisms, extroversions, and then agreeableness and openness. In the big terms, basically all these terms are basically is a part of your personality, and then you have to increase their interest. If the interest in the function of the personality at work in the individual and your organizational psychologists. Now, mental, physical, emotional, and the social actions people engage in the throughout their lives, because these all are part of our lives. There's a human behavior, nature is there. Mentally, you have to strong enough. Physically, you have to good enough. Your health should be good. Emotionally, you have to balance. The emotional balance should be there. Social actions are also there. Then people have to engage throughout their lives every day, 24 hours. You see, we are engaged something besides from the your sleeping time and other food time. Most of the times we are busy with some of the things, and we have to busy with something. So where actually the society values, morality, ethics, heredity, these all are surrounding us, and we have to act as per the laws, as per the. When you are in the organizations, you have to maintain the procedure and policies, rule and regulations. What are the ethics, culture, everything you have to maintain. And when you are in the social life, your home and social life, again, some social laws are there that helps you. You have to obey, you have to perform things. So motivation is another thing, the inner drives, because you have to motivate yourselves. Self-motivation is required, self-driven motivations, and sometimes you have to engage in such an activity where you can get more motivations. Now, motivation behavior and the performance employees motivation is one of the most important aspects of any business. As we know, motivation is required. Without motivation, people cannot work. Quality is another thing. Quality work environment is defined by the considerations, such some of the standards, some of the rule and regulations. Quality are to be maintained. Then the total environment will be good company will be flourish and profit. You can see the profit margins. So an appropriate salary is also important. Enhance the training. Everybody should have some training. Then effective and the free flow of information, because within the organizations, if the free flow or the communication system is not good, informations are not free flow, then maybe sometimes mismatch, misunderstanding, and awareness will be because basically you should not compromise the things, because when you are in a particular company and you should be aware of all the things, and you have to have a good idea what the project is there and where we are after 5 years, where we will be from the all aspect. So that's the training program is required, awareness program is required, lot of workshop is also required to enhance the people's capacity. And for that, in order to complete all these things, you should have a good information systems, and that information should be free flow. So worker elevations and pleasant and the health working environment. So all are the example of the special elements. Now, performance management and personal management systems includes your another part is the implementing, because you saw implementing is very important part. If I not implement the things, then performance cannot be justified. I mean, cannot measure it, because only based on the implements and the feedbacks, then only you can have an idea. Yes, it is performed or not. So performance management systems where implementing is very important. It may be a last phase, implementing may be the last phase, even though it is very important. So evaluate the analysis, effectively evaluate and analysis. Now, performance objectives. A successful performance of a management method is built in the foundation of the objectives. You focus on the objectives, that is the behavioral based, and the process in fair and that reduces disparity. So it is ensured that there should not be any discrepancy, any disparity is not there, everything is good, fair deals are there. So the focus on the objective behavioral based, so that people cannot be minded, okay, he has promoted, I am not promoted, but this type of work he has given, I have not given. So that things you have to see the job related results are, you have to ensure that everybody have equal duties and equal pays and all these things. Joint effort between the management and the employee. This is another aspect, because in the time of planning, you have to see that joint effort are there, employees and the employer both are in the particular in the same meetings or same procedures, they are also involved. And so some component will allow the non-negotiable parts. So whatever the goals that should be ranked by the in order to determine which the most important. You have to prioritize what are the works and the ranks should be prioritize the things. Then only this work should go first. This is the critical area. This is the non-critical area, and it should be first, number one, number two. So this is the way you have to rank the works and you have to do these things. Then obviously monitoring is another part. You have to see the time to time. You have to monitor the things continuously. The process are going as per the objectives or not, or as per the set goals or not. So set rules are really followed or not. That's why monitoring is very important. At the same time, if in someone has stuck off or something, some guidance, some coaching is also required. How to cope up the situations and proceed further. So training is another one of the main things to ensure the managers and the fully prepared and to accomplish all of the tasks associated to performance management. Because training program should be in such a way, in a staggered way, as a managers training program, executive training program, workers training program, supervisor training program. So all the training programs should be in such a way that so that all the managers should be equipped and all the supervisors should be equipped and all the workers are also to be ready for this particular to do these jobs. So then only we can have a best performance management systems we can achieve. Assuring the human performance, that part goal are the consistent and the company's values. Measurements ensure the relationships, the employees and the organization visions. What are the visions and set it by the top management? That relationships also things. And moreover, employees' happiness and the personal progress is very important. This is other than the things. Srivastava 2005, he has described the things. Now, concept of the career. Career actually is an integral part of the individual persons because everybody should have a good positions. It should be in the professional lives. So, career is one of the important. It is a career we can understand as a sum of the educationals, socials, economic, and the conscious decisions taken by the individual, representing his unique personality, traits, and the essential life values. So the career is everybody should have a up to the retirement should have a that positions should be there. That is a career making levels. Career development is these things are important because company and organization has to focus on the career development purposes. That's why some definition is there. David A. Stephens and Robbins, they have a defined the career as a sequence of positions. As I said, sequence of positions occupied by persons during the course of a lifetime. Manager, supervisor, then manager, the deputy manager, then manager, senior manager, GM, general manager, CEO. This is the way the path. This is the career path. So on the other hand, the career path is represented by the employees' movements through the opportunities over time. So this is your development program should be there. So then aspirations and the expectations at the time of joining, because at the time of joining you have to very carefully I think that you have to inform all the employees, newly trained entrants, people. This is our career and development path in the company. That's the way you have to aspirations and the expectations at the time of joining. Also, you have to give it so that they can retain and they can learn more. They can do the best work. Career development. You're actually. Here actually some of the points are highlighted: the personal level and the corporate organizational growth. These all are the covered by the career development. Changing employee status, because career planning, which basically you have to changing the career employer. Now he has deputy manager, then after that maybe after 3 years will be senior manager, chief manager. This is the way it is changing. The process of making the long-term learning decisions, competencies in order to balance the career advancement opportunities. Then organizational career development is an activity that takes into account the long-term benefits and the success, and as well as the efficiency of the organizations. HR actually here all this carries out by based on the HR needs and the ability of the perform various functions, improve efficiency, and compete with the other organizations. Now, and even some of the models are there. What are the models? There are 5 career models has been defined by the Evans model. That is one of the explorations, establishment, mid-career, late career, decline. This is the way some of the models are there. Now, the problem of the top managers in the lack of communications and other interpersonal skills. That is a very vital thing. It is some of the, you can say, limitation because the problem because of the lack of communications. So that's why you have to focus on these things. So the future career development, some of the problems areas, the stress is another one of the problem areas. Their resistance to not to perform the good career. So stress is another thing. We have to focus on these things. How to reduce the stress levels. Family aspects is also there. You have to take care of their medical and education, children's education areas, so that the employee can be work in the organizations in free mind. So mindset, free well-being's mindset is really important. And assessment and the feedback, definitely it is also almost required. Political aspects is sometimes the organizations give you some problems. You know, there are some references coming. You have to promote these persons by forcibly. So that type of things are there. Loyalty issues are also there. Moral dilemmas, stagnations, regressions is all are the basic problems in the performance and the career plan. So career trends and the rising employment is seen. We have seen that some of the employment issues are there. As we know, our literacy rate is good, 91.2%, but still a lot of unemployment in India. And at the coronavirus time, we have seen a lot of problems there. Unemployment rate increased. As per the survey, 3rd May 2020, stands high at that time, 24.1%. Now it has reduced a little bit. Maybe it is around 17 to 18%. So it is variable. Government is trying, a lot of initiatives has taken care to unemployment purposes, a lot of apprenticeships and other things, skill development is going on. Still, how to cope up the unemployment situations. A lot of initiatives are taken by the government, but still a lot of unemployment is there. So in Indian marketplace, that although witnessing the worst condition we have seen, still some of the companies are already survived. They are in the positions, but still some of the organizations are again they are in that stage. Still fighting for these unemployment purposes. And now the career trends and rising the skill employees, one of the trends is going on. And another is the technological growth. That is, you have to technically you have to sound your things. So that is one part. Work from the home has already introduced. Most of the companies have introduced. And we have 60-40 in like this. And in the institution, a lot of institutions also are the pattern of the teaching patterns also like this 60-40% has adopted. Face-to-face class and some of the online classes. This is the way. Then contractual employment also increased. A lot of people are employed in the contractual basis. Other benefits apart from salaries are also the job. These are all other trends is going on. Basically, here actually I'm talking about these are all other trend that's going on. Companies, the demand, hiring the trends, so all are your career trends. Now coming to exactly the HRD practices. Now we are talking about the HRD practices. HRD culture and the climate is one of the basic things required for the organizations. You have to ensuring the company competency, motivations, and the development of the employees. The employees should be motivated and their competency should be intact. There should not be any decline positions. Defining the climate. Now, perception about the organization's goal and about the decisions that a manager should achieve. These goals come from, not only from the informal organizations but also from the formal structures, which is called the organizational climate. Because you see, a lot of information we are getting through this system. What are the systems are there? These are all formal structures. Manager has to give us an instruction to particular supervisor. Supervisor has to again give a instruction to workers. So this is the work is going on. Even the flow of instructions also coming like this way from top to bottom. It's all are through this notice, through these letters, through the email, through the messages. So this is the way. All are part of your formal structures. But some of the things, informal structures also there. Maybe in the canteen, in the lunch area, where the people are discussing group discussions. When you are discuss with it as a group, so the all are this is a part of your informal things. So both the things are required to fulfill the to see the climate as a whole in the company. So it is implying that the measurement of the organization climate, how to do? There is a perceptual response. What type of response? Inclusiveness. People are involving, they are in the front line and they are joining these things, participations. So inclusiveness is very important to this, this type of climate. The people are really interested or not. They are also their ideas. They are sharing their ideas or not. So these are scales and the constructions of the in the macro level, because in a very big level, everybody should have these things. The units of the analysis tend to be attribute of the specific subsystems. There are some lot of subsystems are there. It should be in an integrated manner. They have to perform. So perceptions have a potential behavior consequences because they have to discuss and they have to give an idea. That idea has to be clarified one by one analysis part. So a lot of things are there in the part of your culture and climate. So a lot of people have declared that different definitions are there came from the climate. One of the definitions is climate perceptions are psychologically meaningful moral descriptions that people can agree characteristics, systems, practices, and the procedures. So everybody are agreeing these practices and the procedures. Focus on the results versus the work, because as the organizations, you have to see some alternative characteristics. You have to see, and for that you have to see their results and what type of work they are performing. Already as assigned the works and what are the results that parameters, based on these parameters you can identify. So individual accomplishment versus being a member of the team is important. Initiative and the risk taking versus not recocking the boat. Individual gains, organizational objectives are really see. Then to compare the things, then you can see that it is enhancement or not. It should be enhancement. Enhance the things. So tough mindedness versus the dealing with the people, the avoidance of the unpleasant actions. Sometimes you see maybe you are being strict enough because you have to do these things, and sometimes you also you can observe the things the employees are avoidance tendencies, or maybe the manager is also not giving the order or giving the instructions on that way. There's some sort of okay, you can do it, you can do this because it's not fit for this job. So avoidance tendencies are there. These are totally unpleasant actions. So that part is also perceived. Then you cannot improve the cultures. You have to have see all are parallelly. Everybody are in equal duty, equal behaviors, and equal treatments are required. So participating management versus the authorizations management. There is a lot of areas you can see we have to focus on these things to create the better culture and climate. HID climate and the organization's climate. This development climate will have the following characteristics written by the Rao and the Abraham in 1986. The tendency to at all levels, starting from top management to the lowest level, to treat the people as the most important resources. As I said, you have to consider it that people are most important resource. They are asset of the company, so accordingly you have to treat them. So developing the competencies in the employees and the job of every manager, supervisors, up to all the levels you have to see. Managers should be also competence, supervisors also need competence, and job-wise, everybody's the knowledge, technical knowledge, their human skill knowledge is improved. Faith in the capability of the employees you have to create. You have to create in such a situations. You have to give us some faith and belief that yes, you can also do it. It's a capability you have to improve, acquire the new competencies, and any stage of the life. So tendency to be open in communications and discussions, rather than being a secretive, fairly free expression of the feelings, because you're not giving your feelings or ideas secretly or things, but you are not in open up. I mean, you are not in the participating in the discussions. You're not giving your ideas, your decisions. You are not giving always in a dilemma. I mean, in a dual mode. That should be. So you have to encourage the employees. So you have to communicate in such a way they should come up and discuss the matters very heartily. Not half-heartedly. I mean, full-fledged they can participate. Encouraging the risk-taking and the experimentations, because sometimes maybe they are reluctant to do some things. So you have to give it permissions. Okay, you can go ahead, take a risk, no problem. I am with you. So that type of risk-taking jobs, when they are hesitate to some of the supervisors or managers, seniors has to give us some encourage. Okay, you take the risk, no problem. You can do it because it is the right thing. So that type of encouragement, that type of initiations, motivations are also required. And that should be part of your experimentations also. Then only they can improve. Recognize their strengths, because on the employee you have to focus, you have to identify as a manager what is the strength of this particular employees, and what are the weak points also, weakness. Through this feedback, performance appraisal systems are there. Through this feedback, you can analyze the things, what are the strength, what are the weakness. Then only you can judge it, and accordingly the overall climate of the organization will be good. Trust is another important thing. You have to start everybody. Then collaboration. Collaborate is another thing. Collaboration, everything you have to do it. So helping each others. You have to collaborate with team spirit, another aspect, because team spirit is required. Leadership skills should be there. Discourage the stereotype work, because if somebody is doing stereotype work, is not taking risk-taking jobs, or not interested very much to learn more. So that things has to be discouraged. Well, okay, you do it. You can learn it. You can do it. Computer is nothing. You can also better way you can perform. That type of I think encouragement you have to require. Discourage the stereotype work, basically. Supporting personal policy, because always you have to support it. That type of policy should be there. Manager has to be supportive. If there is somebody is stuck up, knowledge-wise or technically or capability, then you have to support the thing so that he can perform. And then next time he can perform individually. Supportive HRD practices, so including the performance appraisals, training, reward management, potential development, job rotations, career planning. Through this way, these are all of the practices. Through this way, HRD can support to the employees for enhance their capacity, and as well as it should be a overall increase the climate and the climate of the organization's climate. This is a good climate. Everybody feel happy. They should know, okay, if I do this thing, if I stuck up, somebody is there to support me. So this type of culture you have to develop. Now, elements of the HRD system. What are the elements? That is a octopack. It is in the cultural essential part. There are some of the things are there. In short form, that's your say the openness. O for openness. C for your confrontations. trust, T for trust, and authenticity, T is authenticity, and then P for your proactive and autonomy and the collaborations and your explicitness. So this is a culture is essential for the facilitating HRD. So these are the elements are required for the HRD clients. Feel free, because employees should feel free to discuss, as I say, and then reference to the HRD context, that the HRD climate has been recently introduced by the Rao and Abram. That is 1986. A lot of people have written their books. What are the concept of the climate? Now, measurement of the HRD climate. How to measure the things? That's why you should have some questionnaires. Through these questionnaires, you can either question the set of questions are the structured questions to the employees and take a feedback what the way they are answered the things, and that is it should be tested. Basically, through these questions you have to test it. Then to measure the HRD climate prevalent in any organizations, these questionnaires was administered to several managers in the organizations and various hierarchical levels. You can from the all levels. You can circulate the things, take it. Even in the other companies also, you can see what the way they have done the things, particularly what the way they have implemented, what type of climate they have. You can take some feedback also or inputs from there, and you can also implement the things. So this is one of the measuring the HRD climate through these questionnaire systems. Survey, because you have to survey is important, because some of the following points there. The following are the points with respect to which the HRD climate is not favorable. That is, your average score is below 50%, then you can say that the HRD climate is not favorable. If it is more than 50%, then you can say yes, the HRD climate is good. So that is the way you have to standardize. You have to standardize some benchmark should be there. 50% is the benchmark, the baselines. So management goes out of this way to make sure that employees enjoy this work. So this is the measurement point. This following point, survey point, that based on this you can declare yes, our people are happy, they are enjoying the work. So there are mechanisms. So there are mechanisms in the organizations to reward any good work more done. If the employees are working very good, they are good enough, you have to declare, you have to give some award systems should be there, so that they can perform more better and others people can follow these things. So there are some mechanisms in the organizations to reward of any good work, good done. Where employees are encouraged to experiment with a new method and try to create the ideas. You have to give a authority to the employees to create, to initiative, take the initiative for the new things, create some of the new things, startup and all these things are, as you know. So this is the way you have to encourage the things. Some creative idea should come off. So when the behavior feedback is given to employees, they take it seriously and use it for the development. Because when you are giving any feedback to the employee, very humbly and very quietly, sincerely, you have to discuss with the counseling with the employees that this is your drawback, this is your some of the loopholes or something. You have to improve these areas. Basically, they have to take it very seriously. You have to say it and they have to accept it, so that they can develop more. This is the one of the area really important. If you are not circulate, if you are not feedback or you are not pass on to the employees, then they also don't know how to improve, which the area to be improved. So that's why the HRD has to maintain some of the workbook type, and then they can pass on the feedbacks to the employee, maybe individual basis or face-to-face basis. Separately, they can discuss and counseling the things. This is the area you have to improve more so that you can perform better way. Your future will be clear, good, and the company will also parallelly get the benefits. So employees in the organization take pains to find out their strength and weakness from the supervising officers. and the qualities. So employees also the organizations take the pain because uh, how to improve the strain and what are my weakness. That supervisors should be supervising officers or colleagues can discuss jointly and deliver the things. Then training program is important because that is giving opportunity for learn more. If I'm not giving opportunity for the training program, then what are the mode of learning? You have to learn things. If you individual, very few people are self-motivated because most of the employees they want some of the training program should be there. Company should have provided some of the things. HRD calendar should be there so that the training program from the all levels, all the departments should have, and people can learn from their training programs. So encourage to take the initiative, to take the things on their own without having to wait for the instructions and for the supervisors. So this is the way they should not wait for the supervisor instruction. That way we can save the supervisor times for discussions. If you train the people, the worker are trained very much, particularly this work. So this reduce the supervisor times. Supervisor can give you more time to other works also, administrative works. So if you all the time feeding to the workers, the time will be very constant. So career opportunities are pointed out to juniors by the senior officers. What are the careers, other opportunity that also to be pointed out. Welfare, employees welfare is another aspect. Mental health, their energy, mental energy of the workers. They have to see they are taking a good food or not, that canteen facilities are there or not, and what type of energy they are gaining, and the stress levels are in certain below the level of limit levels. That all part are you have to see. These are all a part of your employee welfare. Then the following of the some of the average scores are you have to see the survey pattern should not be above the 60%. Then we can see the average scores. Then we can say it is a favorable HRD climate. Some of the things are there. If it is followed and if it is by the survey, if it is pointed out, the things are getting, then you can say it is a good HRD. The top management believes the human resources are extremely important sources. So top management are already taken actions on these things. They are treating as a humanity. So then definitely it's a good culture. So top management initiatives are very much required. People are in the organizations are helpful in each others because there is no class, there is no conflict. So that is one of the points. Promotion decisions are based on the suitability promotion rather than the favoritisms because the promotion policy are very good, excellent, transparent. It's very transparent. Personal performance appraisal reports are also based on the objectives, assessment, and adequate informations are there, good procedures. There is no favoritism. So definitely the personal appraisal is also good. And the employees are sponsored for the training, most of the training, and they take it seriously by the and try to learn from their programs they attend. Their trainees are very initiatives, they are taking a participation of their attendance is good and they are learning a more good and come back and they can do the best work. So that part is also see. So when employees are not afraid to express or discuss their feelings because they know if I say something, ideas, I will not be punished. Management will take care of my ideas, they are taking this as a guaranteed, or maybe they have to analyze my viewpoint. That is, they have to take care of my. If I be wrong, they may not be punished. We can say, okay, your idea are not correct. Maybe so that type of afraid we have to reduce these things. So it should be free enough. Seamlessly you can do it. All these things. Then if all these parameters are getting is above 60%, then you can declare this the HRD climate is favorable. This company's HRD is very good. Now, what contributes of the HRD climates? So the following factors are there that may be considered for the HRD climates. So top management style and the philosophy, then your personal policies, HRD instructions and the systems, self-renewal mechanisms, attitudes of the personnel and HRD staffs, commitment of the line managers. These all are the contributions of the HRD climate. So you have to consider that this is the area they have to contribute. And all are responsible for these things. You have to take a authority, and the responsibility are very important when we are talking about the contribution part. So take responsibility is very important. Okay. Now employees need to develop trusting and supportive relationships with their immediate supervisors. That is one of the concept. Or as a coaching and mentoring, when you are talking about the coaching and mentoring, then definitely trust is very important, one of the matters. Because if the trust is not there, if I not believe what he's saying, if I argue, if I not listening properly, then cannot develop the relationships. So relationships are the first pillar is the trust. Then concept, knowledge, another thing. You have to flow. Then only knowledge can be flow from one point to other point. Otherwise, somehow it will be missed. Some of the missing will be there. Help employees to analyze why they could not have higher performance. You have to explain. You have to give an analysis with the database, with the figures, fact and figures. This is the things. That's why you have not higher performance. You could not achieve. That's why you have to plan for this for higher achievement in future. So that is the way you have to give you some way out. That this is the way, this is the your problems to us particular. But anyhow, you can improve it if you follow these things. So at the same time, future planning, how to achieve the things, that part also you have to explain in the employees. Not only the pointed out his drawbacks or his weak points. You have at the same time you have to strengthen the things. The process of coaching is also is called the coaching of the or the performance review, you say, which can be defined as a help provided by supervisors to the subordinates. Helping nature, coaching, mentoring is particular one of the area given training, and you can mentor the things and something. But in the coaching is parallelly you have to also do. As a coach, you have to also perform the things, show them as an example in it. This is the things. So performance and other on the job behaviors, in order to improve their performance on the job, you have to also perform same way, same thing as we see in the captains, in the referees, and the in the cricket or football. Everywhere they are also performing the same field, the same dress, same exercise also they are doing also. So that is basically the coach. And coaching is also on the job they have to do how to do it, practices on this. Now, what is the objectives of the coaching? Potential as a manager. To realize what are the potential is there, that you have to help them to realize them. Yes, you have a potential, you can do it. Then another objective is the strengths and the weakness. You have to identify his full strength and the same time weakness also. If I only identify the strength, if I'm not identifying the weakness, then he is not a good coach. Coach is always first find out his weakness and improve the weakness. Providing him an opportunity, definitely, to acquire more insight. First time, second time, you have to give us some opportunity to perform and to see and judge again what are the problems. Maybe it will reduce to 70%, then maybe 50%, then finally one fine day, what are the problems will be managed. So this is the way you have to give an opportunity to grow. Helping him to better understanding of the environment, and the environment is also one of the points. So to create such a viewpoint that this is the environment, and within this environment you have to perform. So increasing the personal and the interpersonal effectiveness through the effective feedback. So this is some of the area. What are the objectives of the coaching? The set goals for further improvement, encouraging him to generate the alternatives. That is one of the point, because only improvement may not be sufficient. At the same time, you have to generate some alternatives also for dealing with the problems and the prepare for the action plan. Because you are maybe anticipated, maybe I assume this is the things are sufficient for improvement purposes. But it may not be. So any eventuality, any situations, adverse situations will come. How to cope up the things that also that action plan you have to prepare. Any contingency systems, or maybe you have to see that how to reduce these problems as much as in the levels. So helping him to review the non-threatening way his progress in achieving various objectives. So there shouldn't be any stress or any threatening in the mind. Okay, you can perform the things, so there is no problem. You will not be transferred, you will not be punished, so you can do it. So helping in that way, that is the one of the objectives should be there. Providing the empathic atmosphere for sharing and discussing these tensions. Because see, when somebody are performing, definitely by default, some of the tensions, the conflict in the mind, some problem will be there. So that has to be, as a coacher, as a coaching time, you have to be careful about it. So you have to weigh out. I mean, so you have to see their overall holistic way. They have to see their things. The problem should not be impressed on the things. I mean, should not be any resistance or all these things. So that's why you have to empathic atmosphere you have to create. Always you have to side by side you have to add supportive mind, helping in here all the stages, all the times, as a just like a shadow, just like a shadow of the particular these questions you have to then you can as a good coacher. So objects of the coacher is also very important. If I only give any instructions or say this way, that way, that is sufficient. Parallelly you have to work as a side by side you have to do it, so that empathic way, if any problem in sharing, you have to console, you have to do it, you have to perform it. Giving opportunity is a very tough job. It's a coaching job is very important, uh, so that he can perform. Mentoring. So main purpose of the mentoring is to provide the opportunity to young people to share their concerns and get both moral support and guidance. So mentoring is the moral support and the guidance is very important for the development purpose. It involves some of the things, trust, or altogether. Trust is one of the main points to create the relationships. Then modeling the behavior norms, the person's concerns and the problems, helping him to search the alternative solutions to help him so that he can search for the alternative solutions. Sharing the experiences, relevant experiences, you can give any case studies or some storytelling. This is the way you have to sharing his experiences, so that in situations he can come across, he can perform. Then responding to is the emotional needs. What are the emotional needs without making him the depend on the mentors. Then developing the long-lasting personal and the informal relationships. So these are all are some of the basic objectives of the mentoring are listed here. Now, counseling, coaching, and the mentoring. The basic processes of the coaching and the mentoring. Both coaching and mentoring involve help and support by the senior persons, because uh, to create so that the instruction are to be followed, because some senior person is required who has already experienced, then only he can be better, he can express all these things. So his experiences like this. Expertise and the positions are very important. There are three things our process are there. One, involved in the both the coachings and the mentoring. Then that is a communication, empowering, and helping. Communication is interpersonal communications. A person really receives the message from basically the listenings and send it to the responding to the for asking the things. So for the other persons. So basically, it's sender and is receivers. That is the way formally. One listening and another one uh, sending the things and it is received. Yes. So effective listening, empathic response, and the supportive questionings are important both in mentoring and performance coaching. Because when you are asking something or giving instructions, there should be some of the supportive words should be there. Okay, no problem, you can do it. Or some of the instructions are very carefully you have to give instructions where the things are merged. I mean, some empathic way, some soft way you have to say so that his tension should not build, change, stress should not build, there shouldn't be any conflict in his inner mind. So most examples given here, the performance counseling is very important because when you are telling somebody is after throughout the year he has not performing up to the mark, it is a challenge to express in the meeting to say something. So that kind of counseling, don't say in front of all. You have to take him separately and discuss the things, the what are the shortfall. That we at least respectfully have to say what the things. Then he will feel so that feeling should be there. The yes, what are my wrong things? He has given a respectful he has saying me. So definitely I have to. Here we accept very fast. Otherwise, if you openly, if you say and others in front of others, say you are not wrong, you are not performing these things, it may create some of the uh, mental upset or something, depression maybe. There will be chances of depressions. So that is also one of the things. Now coming to the another aspect, basic process, the listening. Listening is the fast, effective steps in any communication. First, you have to listen fast because people are saying, as per the survey or as per the first things, any communication systems or in the knowledge part or whatever, listening is 70%. Then balance 30% are your other things. So listening, if you listen the fast, then very easily you can digest, you can understand, you can diagnose the things, you can judge or you take a decision very carefully. Right decision will not be very problem. Because if you are not listen the things, then maybe the overall idea, overall picture may not be coming out. So listening is involved with paying the attentions to the various messages being sent by the other person. So when somebody are messaging through mail or through message or maybe the word of phone, you have to listen very carefully and go through this. Then you come to answer this. The listening to feelings, the concerns is very important for effective coaching and mentoring. So when your uh, uh, trainees or some of the are saying something, or those who are under the training program or in the coaching system, so you have to learn from them. I mean, to listen from them carefully. Asking the question to responding. There's a unhelpful questions are critical questions, the questions that criticize. No, you have to avoid it. Then your doubt the constantly create a gap between the him and the coach because sometimes the questions are not clear. It will create as problems. So that time maybe the gap will be increased. Your coaches and the those who are at the time of counseling, it is very difficult to clarify the things. So sometimes the decisions are cannot take in proper way. Judgment are wrong sometimes. So testing the questions, that is also important. The right or wrong, that is also important to see the test the questions. Then resenting the questions, you have to send again the questions and again you have to take. So resentment for the behavior of the other persons. That is also you have to see the other person's viewpoint. You can also take if any requirement. Leading questions. Quite often unknowingly we ask the questions that is indicate the answers we want. And then we may get those answers. So helpful questions are also important. The following types of the questions are developing more healthy relationships, and the effectiveness of the other person. So questioning is a very important. How to question the things, and so that you can get a correct answers. So to create in such a atmosphere and such a way, you have to answer it so that you can very freely you can answer the things. Then trusting questions, the questions that indicate that you are seeking the help or suggestions. So that is another way. To clarifying the questions may be asked to collect the information, more data. So there's a clarifying questions. Empathic questions. When the questions are asked about the feelings of the persons, how are you, if you face any problem or not, to come in the office, what the way you have come, okay, this long list. So this is some empathic way you have to give us some feelings. You have to show your concerns and his problem also. You have to listen very carefully his problems. Okay, this is the new problem. So what you have to? So this is the way you have to show the for some of the empathic. This is the type of your empathic question styles. So it indicates the express the concern of the questioners. Then open questions. Another things are required. The basic process for the coaching and mentoring. Then responding to the questions, because some things as questions there are counselors. You are not answering the things. Then it is another way you can take it. So response is very important. If you get some of the questions, then your reply is very important. Influencing. So one purpose of the communication is to influence. Influencing would mean making an impact on the persons of the relationships, because influence means you are answering very good. Okay, people can judge it and yeah, he's a very good coach because he has answers very correctly and he is helpful, he is very emphatic. So that is you can build up the relations very nicely. So increasing the autonomy, then positive reinforcement, identifications, all are your part of your things, influences. Empowering the people, empowering in the powerful performance coachings, because empower the things which were there, further he can how best he can do it. So increase the effectiveness so that it will impact in the things. Helping the coaching is essentially helping. Helping involves several your process, but for the following three are mainly important. There's some things. There's a concern and then empathy. Then your mutuality of the relationships, identifying the development needs. So all are things. Then coaching is a process of helping the employees to grow and develop in the organizations. Then your report building, report is only building things. Yes, is the best persons, and that is any effective coaching outcome, because that is very much. So that's why ultimately what I can gist is the attending, the listening, acceptance, explorations. These all are the part of the report buildings. How to build the relationships, exploring helps and employees to search the various dimensions of the problems, the problem identification, diagnosis, action planning, research, searching, the decision making, supporting. So all are your part of your report building purposes, so that you can effective coaching outcomes can be made. Mentoring comes from the Greek words basically, and as mentoring, the two way, there's a natural mentoring and there's planned mentoring. Natural mentoring is because friendship by the colleagues, and this other things is planned by the company as a structured way. It is program is there. You have to maintain these things. Participants are coming. You have to give a question and answer session. You have to program. So these all are the formal process, and then your mentoring the competencies, the image, empathy, and ability to provide your emotional support. So these are also things. So there are two main phases. In the mentoring process: the dependence and the interdependence. There are two phases are there actually. So mentoring process is quite similar to the counseling process, and the ultimate goal of the both counseling and the mentoring is to help an employee attain the psychological maturity and the effectiveness. So I think most of the area I have covered up. So I think this almost finished the things. I think. Okay. Thank you very much for the sessions. Thank you.